happening in the state today. Really, the highest risk is going to be into northwestern Oklahoma. Northeastern, excuse me. Where we will see large hail up to maybe baseball size, and then 60 to 70, maybe even an 80-mile-per-hour wind gust, and a tornado or two cannot be ruled out, although those are not the most concerning factors. So, in this video, I'm going to start out with going through the threat graphics that the government produces, and we'll go over some of the details on there, and then we'll start to dive deeper into some of the details of the forecast and talk about some of the complications of the forecast, what could go wrong, etc. And anytime you have a question in this, pop it in the chat. I'm monitoring it. I get all the chats from Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, this is from the Norman Forecast Office page. This is generally when we can expect severe storms. We're looking at late afternoon, early evening time frame, and overnight tonight. Storms will start off in northeastern Oklahoma around 5 to 9 p.m. Progress southeastward through midnight, and then southern Oklahoma, if there's any storms still around, you'll get storms after midnight tonight. Let's see, let's go ahead and look at the overarching outlook. So, this is the severe weather outlook produced by the Storm Prediction Center. As you can see, we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather, mainly in northern and northeastern Oklahoma. That's going to be your highest risk for significant severe weather, and tapering off as you move to the south and west. We'll go through the threats. 2% tornado, again, not a high percentage, but something that indicates that maybe a weak tornado or two could be possible. When we see 30% hatched, that means there's a 30% chance of severe winds occurring of 65 miles per hour or greater, and in the hatched area just means that the wind speeds are likely going to be faster. So, and that's like your 70 and 80 mile per hour wind gusts when you see these hatched. And then hail, same story, 30% hatched in northern Oklahoma. Really, north central Oklahoma has more of a hail risk. Against hatched, that means hail exceeding 2 inches. So let's go ahead and check out this warning severe weather outlook text. Scattered severe thunderstorms with very large hail and damaging winds are expected this afternoon into tonight for parts of southeastern Kansas, northern Oklahoma, western Missouri, and northwestern Arkansas, with other severe storms expected across the Midwest. Okay, that didn't tell us a whole lot. So basically what we're going to have is we're going to have this cold front that will move southeastward across Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois this afternoon to near Kansas and the Oklahoma border by this evening. Accompanying this will be a good mid-level jet that will develop southeastward along the Kansas-Missouri border and overspread parts of the warm air available in Oklahoma today. In addition to this, we will have a strong lapse rate, which basically tells us how steep or how much energy the storms will have to work with. If parcels will continue to rise, it's a little bit of a theory parameter. I can go over it later, but gist of it, the higher the number, the stronger your storms will be, and 8 is a pretty large number. Normally 7.5 and above is where we start to really get concerned about your hail risk. In addition to that, we also going to have a lot of energy, 3 to 4,000 joules per kilogram of Cape. So basically this is the energy that storms have to work with. And this loosely corresponds to hail size. So the more cape you have, the larger the hair size. And then the effective bulk sail of 40 to 50 knots. That's really a strong parameter that indicates how long these storms can last. If the weaker values or lower values, storms will tend to die out. But 40 to 50 knots is a very high value. So we don't expect the storms to rain themselves out anytime soon this evening. That's why we have an overnight risk as it moves to the south. And then we have a long and straight Hoover graph, so we'll have splitting supercells. So what you'll see is a supercell pop up, grow, develop, and starting early on in its life, you'll notice two distinct cells start to split off and form, and then they'll go different directions, one left, one right. This can also lead to upscale growth, so your MCSs are widespread precipitation as we move later into this evening. And then one last parameter we do take a look at is called D-Cape or downdraft cape. Again, similar to cape, it's energy in the storm. However, this is the energy on the winds coming towards the ground, and once they hit the ground, they spread out. So what we'll see is higher wind gusts, the stronger the D-Cape is. Okay, so that was a little bit of sciencey discussion. So next, we'll take a look at TOSS's forecast page. They really don't have a lot out, so again, as you probably guessed, it's hot out. Yeah. There is an excessive heat warning, so really your heat is not going to be a factor today. Storms will have plenty of surface energy to get going and develop. Okay, so why don't we switch gears here a little bit and look at the radar. Now we're looking in Kansas, near Topeka. In fact, we're using the Topeka radar. You can see some storms already start to get going. Along this boundary right in here. So that's going to be your cold front area that we're going to be watching for storms develop as we get further into this evening and this afternoon. Couple of severe thunderstorm warnings here. These probably won't affect Oklahoma anytime soon. Again, we're looking at 5 p.m., so at least 3-hour lead time on these storms before they start impacting Oklahoma. We'll go ahead and take a look at what we call a mesoscale discussion, which is just a meteorological discussion that gives us scientists a little bit more insight as to what will happen. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and break this down for you. There's an 80% chance of a severe thunderstorm watch being likely. Large hail, some very large, and damaging winds will increase through this afternoon. As I just lost power into my apartment, all of my rooms. Give me just a second. Sorry about that, y'all. Had a break or trip. So we'll dive back down into this mesoscale discussing. Really, it's a lot of what I just covered. The cap is eroding away. Yeah, that's really the only thing different now. So we'll switch the radars back to Oklahoma. And you'll notice nothing really happening right now as expected. As I switch back to the Webb Hill, what we'll do is we'll go into some models from Pivotal Weather. The logo in there. Okay. So this is a composite reflectivity according to the 12Z hub. So as we move in, you'll notice the cells and thunderstorms really start to ramp up around what we call 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. 11 p.m. excuse me. Couple of cells and thunderstorms in the next couple of hours, but nothing crazy expected with them. And then overnight tonight, that's when we'll have the biggest risk of severe weather. So as I move in, 8, 9, 10, midnight, 1, 2, 3, you can see storms really start to ramp up now. And let's look at the 18Z model. So again, looking at about the 9-10 p.m. time frame according to the hub, that's going to be when really the highest risk of severe weather will start. We'll go ahead and take a look at the temperatures as well. Surprise, it's hot. It's going to get hotter. Probably not a huge surprise if you've been outside already. And we'll be looking at the dew point. Yeah, mid-70s. It's not fun out there. Mid-70s are plenty of moisture for storms to work with, so we aren't going to be concerned about moisture for these storms. And even mid-60s aren't horrible for storms either. So yeah, in fact, there's some 80s even starting up, so yeah, that's not even going to be a question. These storms will have moisture to work with. As we move on to a different model, or a different product from the HUD model, you can see pretty much what we've been talking about. Around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., all windstorms will start in northwestern Oklahoma. As far as precipitation amounts, let's move back to the 12Z model. Not expecting a ton of rain from these, but if you do get one over you for a while, you can experience localized flash flooding. You can see 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. If a storm just moves over you and starts taking its time. Not expecting this to be a huge threat. As I choose. So this is a look at what a cape will look like, modeled like. So you can see several 3,000, 4,000 joules per kilogram areas in these. And like I said earlier on, this is definitely a sufficient energy for these storms to work with, grow, and become severe. And we'll be looking again at the large hail threat with these. Again, main threat is northeastern Oklahoma, but you could see some in the rest of the state as well. Although your chances are a bit lower but they are definitely sufficient. Let me zoom back out for a minute. We'll take a look at some more products here. We call a SIG 12 parameter, so this is basically a composite parameter that gives us an idea of how likely tornadoes are. It's not foolproof, but it's an ideal. Again, you can see some areas of orange pop up. That's just an area that we will have to watch and pay attention to see how they develop. Again, not expecting huge tornadoes. Parameters don't look fantastic, but they aren't horrible or evil. What we'll do is I'm going to speed this up to about 17Z, and we'll take an area average sounding for northeastern Oklahoma. Wind profile looks pretty decent. You have a pretty varying wind profile at your surface level, but as you move up, you start to back a little bit, indicative of that cold front moving through. So again, not fantastic for tornadoes, but plenty of what's D-Cape on this? Okay, D-Cape, yeah, 1500, that's plenty for D-Cape. Perceptor water, 1.58 inches. Really, all your parameters are in place except for outstanding tornado parameters. Really, we're only looking at a couple tornadoes being possible. I don't expect them playing the big threat again. We'll have to focus on 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts and hail up to baseball size. So those are going to be the threats you have to worry about. Maybe a flash flood in a low-lying area of poor drainage. We'll look at the supercell composite. Much better parameters on these. So we are expecting supercells again. That's kind of what the wind profile show us. Again, a varying profile with height. This is an area average sounding. This wind profile does look a little bit more conducive for tornadoes. That's why you see a marginal tornado risk on there. Again, not expecting many of these, but one or two are definitely not out of the question. Your holograph does have a slight curve at the bottom, but after that it's long and straight, and really this indicates that we'll have splitting storms, left and right movers, sorry, my image is flipped, but yeah, that's what we'll expect. Storms splitting left and right, they go up, get organized, and then immediately split off is what we're kind of expecting to see this evening, and we'll see what that brings us. Normally your right moves will be more conducive for tornadoes, if one was to. Of course, I'll be monitoring all of this throughout the evening and into the overnight hours a little bit. Make sure you have multiple ways to get your weather information: smartphone, weather radio, TV, whatever. Make sure you have multiple and you'll be okay. Again, we are looking at 70 to 80 mile per hour hail or winds, and in this hail, we have two analogs like soundings previously that closely match, and we're seeing 2.5 to 4.5 inch size hail. Again, baseball to softball size, mainly baseball size is what I'm expecting this evening. Let's see, anything else I want to cover? Does anybody have any questions before I wrap this up? Okay, well, I'm going to hop off. I'll write a post, and it'll be up in the next hour or two, detailing what I kind of went over in this video in a more concise format, and packaged up in my own products what I think is going to happen. And thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, follow, whatever wherever you are at. I'm at OKWXblog. Thank you for listening. Bye.